Woo woo.
That's woo woo. That's how
Double.
they're done. Woo
Yep.
woo. Welcome to the Woo Woo and Real Estate Podcast, where I am Tigger, your host. I want to personally thank you for tuning in. Here on the Woo Woo and Real Estate Podcast, we'll explore the fascinating intersection of gut instincts, strategic thinking, and spirituality, both helping investors and non-investors alike tap into their intuition, navigate opportunities, avoid pitfalls, and create long-lasting wealth. Whether you're deep in the real estate world or just simply looking to trust your inner compass rather, in your relationships, your career decisions, personal growth, you're in the right place. Each episode will bring firsthand stories of divine timing, actionable tips for all things real estate, and tapping into your intuition, supernatural and paranormal experiences that just might change the way you see the world. But that's not all. Some of your guests will bring a little of mysticism and share the tools that they use in this space, including psychic mediumship, tarot cards, dowsing rods, Reiki healing, just to expand your awareness and connection to the unknown. I am a psychic medium myself, so I'll be soon offering readings to have for the community. So stay tuned for that. So if you're ready to unlock your hidden power of intuition and personal life or real estate investing journey, stay tuned for this week's episode as we dive into the insights with today's incredible guests, father and son dynamic duo team, John and Justin Pickell. So welcome to the team. And before we begin, feel free to contact me with my Instagram at sub2tigger2. Facebook is Tiggeruski. And the YouTube is Sub2 Tiggeroo as well. All right. Welcome to the show, guys.
Way to kick it off, Tigger.
Yeah, thank you for having us on. It's a huge pleasure. When can we get our first reading?
Hey, listen, let's set something up. So in my practices, so I've been practicing, and I have a circle that we meet every Wednesday. And yeah, we just, go back and forth with our skills. And so I have a girlfriend that her and I do plant-based medicine, which is psilocybin. And we do sessions ourselves. She uses gummies. But yeah, we do sessions to connect more into the spirituality world. And we have really cool sessions that we're documenting and eventually be writing books and having our own spiritual retreats in the future. So it's pretty cool. So, some of my guests may or may not have experience in the real estate world other than buying their own personal property. So this kind of gives a little bit of leeway for you all to share. I know that, John, you had mentioned before that you've had experience with the paranormal, and I'd love to hear your stories about that. But also, what you did previously to getting into being successful real estate. I'm going to call you moguls because you are. I mean, you're in Detroit. You've been there for years. But let's talk about previous life before real estate, and then let's dive into how you got into the real estate world and how you can help others with your skills and what you're looking for to have people bring to you, or what you can bring to people that are looking to invest in the real estate world. How about that?
Sounds like a plan. I'll let Justin start.
All right.
All right. So before I got started in real estate, I was in high school, the great school system of America.
Yesterday?
Just under 3 years ago.
3 years ago.
I'm just kidding. Yes.
Yesterday in another form. Yep.
Yeah. So I was doing that, and during my childhood, I did like some jobs with my uncle, I'd say, like at the gas station, Dunkin' Donuts kind of thing, or like some random things.
Typical things that teens do for a living, right? Or for, spending money.
Cash, sweeping parking lots, filling coolers, whatever it takes, serving coffee,
free samples is what I was giving out a lot of the time. And
I had a son that worked at Chipotle, and he didn't work there very long because he was giving things out pretty darn cheap. And they were like, I don't think that's how much that cost.
Yeah. Well, I started it at about 10 years old.
Wow.
And
So you
Mm.
have this in your blood and you're made to be an entrepreneur.
yeah, well, it was pretty interesting. I got started. He managed multiple locations of these gas stations and helps another business owner. But in our culture, I'd say like we're Middle Eastern and a lot of people within our community in Detroit, I'd say a lot own liquor stores, gas stations, or like these small little businesses. So like when I was younger, I was like, maybe I'll own one of these. And
It's typical for our community. My mom's Chaldean, which is Middle Eastern. His mom is Chaldean, which is Middle Eastern. It's they're from Iraq. They used to have their own country called Chaldea. It's kind of like a Syrian, Babylonian. You know Patrick Bet David? You heard of him?
That's interesting. No, I don't. Don't know that name.
I
But
think
that's interesting because a lot of my spirituality ties into the whole Babylonian, Assyrian, like all these different. Yeah, so that's very cool. So I had no idea about that about you guys. And
yeah.
so I have a question. Why is it liquor stores? Because they make a ton of money or what?
Well,
What's the
probably,
secret about
yeah,
that?
they do make a ton of money if they're in good locations.
Yeah.
Then they pop up right next to each other, and a lot of them are doctors, lawyers, own hotels. It's
Yeah.
kind of like the same story of they started in the hood, and like a Chinese family in Los Angeles, worked at the store, and all of a sudden their kids are going to Harvard, and they own all these other kind of
Mhm.
businesses. That's where the whole community kind of started in the late 60s when they started coming here, and like even the 50s and stuff. My mom got here in the 60s, and then she met my dad, who was American. Our last name is German, but we're English, Polish, European, Jewish percentage. According to ancestry.com, there's a lot of different
Melting
cultures,
pot, right? You're a melting pot. Yeah.
you know, for sure.
So,
So, but in reality, we grew up like more Chaldean. Even though I was close to my grandpa, I wasn't like super close to my dad. He was out of state. I even speak the language. It's an Aramaic language, same language that like Jesus spoke, and it's not Arabic. It's different, and
what
I
do you
understand
call it again?
Aramaic.
It is Aramaic. Okay.
You know,
Very cool. I had no idea. So say something Aramaically.
Vichiwet.
And what does that mean?
How are you? Mhm.
Very good. Love it.
Yeah.
Hey, I just had a vision for some reason. Do you remember when we met at of course you do, at Squad
Well,
Up last year?
you were there.
Oh my gosh, that was the funniest thing ever. The very
Oh,
first time your dad goes to give me a hug and he spills my coffee on me, like I just bought my coffee.
holy
Oh my
cow!
gosh, you felt so bad, but it was freaking funny. But anyway, I'll never forget that. But we were obviously meant to meet and to
Yes,
have that happen. So
divine timing, like you said,
yeah,
and then
I wholeheartedly believe that.
yeah, and every time I've spilled coffee at home in front of my mom or water, it's actually an old school saying. It's like good luck. Actually, it's like something that opens up luck. So
Very cool, very cool. I like it. Okay. Anyway, okay, go ahead. Go back to your story. So Justin, you did all these side jobs, side hustles. So then you graduate high school, then what? Or do you get into real estate before you get out of high school?
so before that, though, like in high school, I started doing stock market day trading for a couple years.
Get out. Who taught you how to do that?
YouTube and courses and communities.
No
But
way.
once COVID hit, a few of our friends joined in and we all started working at it together. All of them stopped doing it, and then I did it for about 2 years. And then right when I was about to graduate, he started showing me real estate and handed me a list of probate leads and a like realtor like what was it, Jeff Glover or something script.
yeah, it's a script for probate, type thing, and
So you were an agent already from when he was in high school. You were
yeah,
already doing real estate.
09, I got in the mortgage business in 03. I started wholesaling on my own in 2019. I was doing flips, wholesale, and realtor stuff, mainly listings. And he never wanted to be a realtor. And he could tell you after those 2 years of the stockbroker thing, right before he graduated high school, when I had given him that list, it was like May, just under 3 years ago. And then it was a tough list. It's from a company called All the Leads, and their skip tracing wasn't all the greatest, but I've made money off them. It just, you have to call all month. And if you get 1 or 2 deals, you might make 5, 10, 20,000 because it's a probate deal. And if you have some good lawyer connects and different things, you can make it move quicker. And that's what I gave him. And it was a tough list. And then he could tell you what happened next.
Yeah, so after that, I was not really trying to, I was having a really tough time figuring it out. I was doing it for about 3 weeks or so, or 2 weeks. And then I started going more on YouTube and finding people like Jerry Norton, Pace, and finding out different ways of getting leads and talking to them, hearing their sales calls.
So that's
And
pretty cool because I think we're old school. I'm including us both in that, right? So we're old school. The YouTube was just there to watch videos, more or less, right? Like music videos for us. I mean, maybe it was more for you. I'm speaking for myself there, but uh,
Yeah.
yeah, it wasn't a learning tool. But it's cool because you, Justin, brought your dad, it sounds like, to the Pace and the Jerry world. My son did the same thing, brought me a video of Pace from Bigger Pockets,
Wow.
and I watched the video. And I had actually joined a women's group out of Texas, which was a lame
yeah.
mentorship.
Okay.
But after a month after I joined that, I joined Paces immediately because of his whiteboard and going through the YouTube video with his whiteboard. I was like, that's what I need. Like I need somebody to sit there and like show me like what they're talking about and as they're doing it. So that's what sold me on Pace. So it's very cool that both our sons brought us to the Pace world and Jerry world. So
Yep.
did you sign up as a team? Did you sign up first, Justin? Like what did that look like?
Oh, so we didn't sign up because he told me that I had to get my first deal. So I had to figure that out first for about 4 months, 5 months or so.
4 or 5 months. That's all it took. Wow, that's awesome.
Yeah,
Happened to be a follow-up from one of the first calls that he made.
The
yeah.
the drudged lead list that he didn't want to call.
No, not that one. It actually happened to be from a prop wire from Jerry Norton's that he found
Oh,
himself.
I
cool.
didn't get the leads from his list.
Yeah, yeah. This
Yeah,
kid bad of mine. I'm telling you, they're tough. But
yeah.
yeah, so he got it through Jerry's list that he found on his own, through his own research. And
Tired landlords.
yep.
Yes, yes. So, with the tired landlords, you were just looking to buy, or were you wholesaling? Because that's what I was going to start doing was arbitraging, basically. That's why I wanted to get into this whole world is like, well, my mindset back then was like, oh, I don't have the money to buy yet. I'll just arbitrage some of these and make some side hustle money, right? So what was your plan with that? With it was strictly just wholesaling then?
Wholesaling was my main goal at the time because I was young and just wanted money fast.
Yeah, as as kids and we all do, right? Right now, today money.
Yeah, but it wasn't that fast, but it was consistent. Real estate I learned was slower than me going on the stock market and waking up where I can make money or lose money that morning. Which like after like 2 months of knowing about real estate, he had me pretty much decide, are you gonna do this full time or like I was doing day trading for like 3 hours each morning, 4 hours, and he said 9 to 12 is the most important time to call.
All
So
right.
And that's part of what kicked him off and got it going. So 4 months later, we ended up joining. He closed that deal. He made 5,000. I dispoed it, made five. It was 8,800 to join, and just took off from there. He did about 45 of his first 50 deals on his own. One of them was
Wait a minute.
27.
What did you just say?
He did about 45 of his first 50 deals. He's done way more sub twos than me on his own, has better understanding of it
Get
and
out
stuff.
of town. So I saw a video and I didn't want to do spoiler alert yet, but
Okay.
so the video is with Pace, and it said millionaire in his teens.
Yeah.
It
His
must be
20,
true. It has to
his
be true if Pace is on there.
That's what it's all about. Well, he knows between his mobile home park, which is going to be $1 million plus value add, and he's made millions in real estate on his own, and he
Yeah.
turned this company into a nationwide dispo machine where we help all types of wholesalers dispo, and we also do direct to agent, direct to seller, and direct to wholesaler. There's also the Pickell method, which is helping buyers get loans when they don't have credit or income, and it's more cash deals. So if they're in a pickle, we make sure that they,
If they're in a pickle, so this
yeah.
says the shirt.
Yep.
Yeah.
So cool to hear that. Okay, so what's next? I mean, you've got that down pat. Now what are you doing? You join Owners Club. We all meet. I mean, we meet in person at Owners Club or Squad Up Summit last year.
Yep.
And
Yeah,
what's next? This whole year has been a year of growth for all of us Owners Club. What has
sure.
changed for you guys? What are you doing differently?
Well, to start, we actually, saw your name a bunch with Pace giving you a boatload of shout outs and a lot of love. And, so that's why I was like, you're really a famous personality within the community. And they're like, it was awesome. And they're like, you're like, you are too. And we were getting there and stuff. And then it kind of caught fire pretty quick after Squad Up because I was on stage for over 1,000 deals with only 3 people left. He was on stage for just under 100 deals. And then Pace had turned around and said, in a pickle, we buy houses. So like everywhere we went, like people wanted a few minutes of our time for that as well. We were on his podcast a month before, which we haven't really started marketing, but that's what Pace was talking about because that had just happened. And the way that happened was just me DMing him some of our results and progress. And then from that point, after Squad Up, first we went to Fund Launch. He hit me and said like, "Hey, we're going to Fund Launch in 2 weeks." That was 2 years ago, right?
Yeah, 2 years ago around this time.
Yeah.
Who does that?
Bridger Pennington. It's all about private equity
Oh,
funds.
yes. Okay.
So we saw Pace there, and that was the big reason we were there. Actually, we ran in. We met Pace and Jamil at his book signing. We got our book signed. We met Vina Jetty there. It was kind of funny. We cut in line with her like half the way, and then we kind of stopped, and it was crazy that we stopped in like the divine spot because we met a guy who sold. What company that guy sold? He sold like a electronic signature company. Justin was on his podcast.
Oh, like DocuSign or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, something similar, but for realtors a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was a really famous one. I just can't, it's not coming to me, but
Yeah.
it's just like DocuSign. And
Mhm.
had a good talk with him. He's got a podcast called Side Hustle. Justin was on it. So that was pretty
Side Hustle
cool.
City.
Side Hustle City.
Side hustle what?
City. Yeah, Justin's got a cool podcast on there. So from Fund Launch, we went to BPCon. Pace killed it there. He was phenomenal on stage. And they had a whole plan, him and Jamil and Josiah, the business messiah, and everybody. So they had a meet up at that restaurant bar. I'm not sure if you remember it. You were there, and then they offered the early
Oh, yeah.
bird. Yeah. They were playing a bunch of Tupac and
Mhm.
getting a little wild, and that's when it started, and they started promoting it. 6 months later, that was Squad Up Summit 1, and that's when there were some haters out there that shut Pace down for a minute. I'm not going to call it any names, but it was a lot of jealousy and stuff. But
Yeah,
continued
they will always do that, right? That'll
yeah,
always be a thing that will forever, when somebody is as good as what he does and the things that he does is going to provide a lot of hate, right? And what was crazy was seeing his somebody posted the X out of the Pace face, and
that's
and
fun.
but yeah, like just basically hating on him, just like, oh my gosh, this
That was
is,
their marketing tool.
yeah, that was their marketing
Something else.
thing.
Isn't that like illegal almost?
I mean, I don't know. I don't know if it's illegal or not, because we will take somebody's video on Insta and just like repurpose it. So I don't think it's anything illegal, but maybe, I don't know. It's just basically saying, yeah, he was a schmuck, and it was like, holy
Yeah,
crap,
it's actually slander. It's 100%. He can go after him for.
Yeah. Okay.
because he's an actual public figure. And even like if, I'm a public figure, that being a realtor, and anybody who's in the public eye in any regard, if they're facing any type of slander, can definitely send someone a cease and desist and sue them if they have money. That's definitely an option. I'm sure I wouldn't doubt that they'd do that as soon as they found that out. 'Cause,
Yeah, it's definitely not and not to mention it just calls you out as this big jerk. Like, wow, yeah, do I want to work for this guy? No. Like, come on. Obviously we're biased, but anyway.
yeah,
Okay, so what is on the road for 2020 or 2025 for you guys? What's that look like?
2025 is. Go ahead, Justin. What's your 2020?
Our 2025 is looking like scaling up our wholesaling business by helping as many wholesalers in the industry with their negotiating, dispositions, whether we helped on those personally or if we bought the deals, that those different things, because we're looking to buy cash flowing mobile home parks, apartment buildings, and different kind of commercial assets on seller financing, sub two, creative.
RV parks.
Yeah,
Specific areas, nationwide, what's that look like?
landlord friendly states, but we're open to like looking at all deals nationwide since we always wholesale as well. So we'll have to look at everything on a deal by deal basis. We're here in Detroit, so John will help manage a lot of the fix and flips.
I like how he says John, Dad, John. Yep.
It's just Connor, actually. So yeah, we are working on our first mobile home park right now, and we're definitely targeting over 1 million value add. We may have hit the lottery and be able to add a commercial business, and God willing, have another $1 million value add there in the project. So we've
So when
been.
you say $1 million value add, what's that look like? For those who are listening.
For sure, for sure. So basically, like purchase price was 155, ended up buying our partners out for 40, that's 195. So far, we have another 250 into it, plus interest about 480. We need about another 400,000 that we're gonna be getting to finish the infrastructure, the rest of the piers, the electrical, which there's 30 other additional spots for trailers. We round that up. He's about to have his mobile home dealer license. So our goal within the next 2 to 3 months is to have all the infrastructure done. We have a $2 million line of credit for mobile homes from a company called 21st Cash, and we can use 3 or 4 different companies, Clayton Homes or Adventure Homes. And basically, they'll bring 2 to 3 to 5 homes at a time and put them on there as long as the structure's good. And so we end up only having like 1 million into it. But as we fill up the park and have everything rented or sold, the park's value is in the 2.3 range. So, and if we're able to square off 1 acre and turn that into another commercial property, all of a sudden you have another potential $1 million profit just by having somebody sign a lease that wants to put their business there, or you build a strip mall for 500,000 or 600,000 and you get 1 or 2 or good tenants and 2 decent ones, and all of a sudden you have something that you invested 600,000 in that's also worth 1.5 to 2 million. So kind of like the Doran Levy thing, who's taking a hotel and investing $10 million of bank money, then all of a sudden it's worth 20 to 30 million.
Smaller
But a
scale.
much smaller scale, but it's practice for that scale. And to do that kind of scale, you have to be in a super, super prime location. Our location's good. It's 2 miles from a Walmart, Menards, there's 3 beautiful new strip malls,
Yeah.
Big Chicken, Shaq's fast food place close by. So there's a lot of great things cooking. But like if you're in a downtown, or if you're like in a rich suburb area, rich downtown, that's when you have even more opportunity to value add if you buy right and you can do construction right and target those high numbers.
That's pretty freaking awesome. And if you need help ever with financing,
Hey, let's get it. 100%.
yeah, seriously.
Finishing
No,
up our tank right now for the organization of the next stage. We're really looking for anywhere from 800 to 1 million, pay off our first lien person, have that money, have a second lien. We'd like to get like deferred payments for 6 months to a year.
Oh yeah, I can help you.
So much room in the equity that it's not even an issue,
I can help you. Yeah, I got you.
Woo woo.
That's woo woo. That's how
Double.
they're done. Woo
Yep.
woo.
Paranormal experience, divine timing. See?
Exactly. That's why we were meant to bump, you meant to spill my coffee.
Yes, exactly. That's the good luck charm. The
Yeah.
triple win. So we get to do this podcast, which we're honored to do because you are a superstar and we're really thankful and you're an awesome human being. And thank you for your military service as well.
Oh,
Wow.
thanks, guys. Yeah, appreciate that. Appreciate that.
Sure.
So okay, let's talk about because this is also about the paranormal and woo-woo. Now, Justin, were you aware of this house that he's talking about that
Oh,
had these
bro.
ghosts?
It was the
Sister.
worst nightmares. Not only ghosts in it, the house's entirety. I told him to never do that deal.
Oh man, it's one of those houses that it's never ends. Like there's just like no matter what you do to fix the plaster, the paint, and it's just you have to do everything so precise and it is almost a little scary to be in there sometimes alone. I've been in there alone quite a few times, but I'm like running out in a way, like especially after my contractor said he definitely heard someone wrestling in the basement and the house is haunted and he had no reason to say it. He was like telling me the truth and everybody kind of like it's already well known that the families talked about these things and it's just it's crazy. It's literally
So
it's so
you bought this knowing that it was haunted.
yeah, I mean at the time I didn't know it was like haunted. It still had that feel,
You know
but
people died in
uh what?
it. This is an old house. It's been around.
I mean, not 100% sure people died, but most likely a senator used to own it, and then it was built by a historic guy in 1913. It's just
It's a jail cell down there, bro.
oh, there's like in the
Yeah,
basement, there's
president
like yeah, there's a safe room. You saw that or no?
No, I didn't.
Yeah, there's a safe room, and then there's this other room that's kind of gives you the vibe like, whoa, they were locking people up down here, or what was going on?
Yeah,
Like it
what
was
was
like,
going on down there? That is so when we start talking about paranormal and ghosts and spirits,
hmm,
there's so many different levels of where this can go. It can go really, really dark and scary, and people really do get freaked out, or it can just be lighthearted, keys get moved across the table to the door or something, like I didn't put my keys there, that type of thing. That sometimes spirits are messing with you and having fun with you, right? But yeah, there are certain types of vibes of houses that you just know something crazy happened, and that energy, because it is all energy, like this is energy, your hat's energy, clothes are energy, it's all energy. And
yes.
it can be not such a great energy vibe, or it can be a great uplifting vibe. But and it also it's all on how people perceive it themselves. Like do and I can go down a whole rabbit hole of is there heaven, is there hell, is there Satan, is angels, Satan, all of those things. But it is what you kind of put into your mindset. But yeah, I get it. Like I would probably be scared to sit there alone. Like, I used to watch I don't know if you've ever seen them, but Ghost Adventures. Like I watched all kinds of paranormal ghost things. And what they do, they focus on negative entities, right? That are in these places. They go in, they go evaluate a old, crazy hospital or mental institution, and it's all abandoned and all the things that used to happen there. It's energy, right? And there's still things that keep reverberating back and forth. It's like they're stuck in this energy pattern. But yeah, no, it's real life. Like there is, like, for people who don't believe it, they've just never had anything happen or been open-minded or have had that experience themselves to experience it. So I would probably, and I like to think I'm a pretty brave person, but I don't think I would go there, and sit in the basement by myself, in the dark anytime soon. I mean, call me crazy, but yeah.
Yeah, maybe one day you'll check it out.
Yeah, no, I would love to, actually. I would love to. I was actually going to stay in when we were at our Boston retreat. I was going to go to Salem and stay, but I couldn't get anybody to stay with me, and I was like, well, I'm not going to be here by myself in this, Salem, Salem, yeah, Massachusetts, right? And so I didn't, but a couple of us went down and visited Salem while we were there. It was pretty cool, right? It was like the day before Halloween. It was the day before Halloween, I think it was. So that was pretty cool.
Awesome.
You
So
like
go ahead.
you like exploring all the haunted stuff to figure out.
Oh, remember that haunted house you almost wholesaled or something? What was it? It was in Colorado.
Oh no, that was in Arizona. There was like this haunted house.
The haunted
Kyle
house.
was about to buy it.
Yeah, it was like a famous haunted house that was on TV. It's in Arizona. You familiar with it?
What is that?
Haunted
What's the
Hotel.
town? Yeah, haunted hotel. Like, is it in what town was it in?
I can't even tell you. It was the middle of nowhere.
Yeah,
Near
like I want to say Graysville or something like the Brownsville, something like off the wall. But yeah, no, I think actually last year when my son came back from being overseas in Jordan, he came home and I said, "Okay, we're going to Sedona to spend the night up there." And I think this was this town where it was like a gold mine town, but then this hotel is haunted. And gosh, I can't think of the name of it. Anyway, um, but yeah, so I was kind of getting to the part where we were saying not often people disclose that the house is haunted. And so what kind of effect can that have on somebody if they've decided to get out of the purchase of it? Like people are supposed to disclose such things. Is that not true? Somewhat.
Mhm. I don't know if that needs to be disclosed.
most people don't disclose anything. Sellers
They
do.
Right.
don't
Yeah.
disclose it as a death by murder or death by,
Buyers are liars, sellers are worse.
yeah. There's a saying in the realtor business that buyers are liars and listers, which are listing agents, last in the business. So
Mm,
able to build up a solid inventory as a listing agent, you can actually last in real estate. Buyers agents are 1 foot out the door in most cases.
yeah. Wow. Interesting.
That's
Okay.
why we do a lot of dispo because that's also like our inventory. So when you're a dispo specialist, that's like a listing agent. We got 70 properties for sale. We don't have to sell every one. There's other people out there selling.
For you.
So,
Yeah.
yeah,
Very cool.
yeah,
All
but
right.
yeah, other amazing paranormal experiences. You tell everybody any of yours, Justin, on your journey with different meditation with Dr. Joe Dispenza. Not sure if you're familiar with Brian Scott. He's another
Oh
medic.
my gosh, he's one of my faves.
I put you on to him actually originally. I don't know if you remember.
Yeah,
It was like 2 years ago. I think you were already listening to Dr. Joe, right?
yeah.
At the time. And then I was like, Dad, this guy's cool. We started listening to a lot of Dr. Joseph
Yeah.
Murphy things he talks about and a lot of different ones. So we pretty much know it all.
Oh my
Uh,
gosh, I love Brian. In fact, I listened to him. So I have this thing where I guess spirit wants me to get up and I from like either 2 to 3 or 3 to 4 or 2 to 4, I'm up at it's just like I get up. And then I feel like it's my time to get into the YouTube and look at the Brian Scott thing. And so I did one last night. It was amazing. So yeah, I love all that. Like if somebody was to look through my history of YouTube, that's all you would see is, the woo-woo stuff and meditate. Yeah. Uh,
wow. It's a divine factor that's got us here.
It's very, very, very cool. Brian Scott does some really unique. I like when he reads, like he's got that voice where you could just, it's like butter. You could just listen to him, and he should be on like podcast and reading the Arcturian Council from Daniel Scranton's channelings. Now, I don't. Do you know Daniel Scranton?
I don't know who he is, but I know I've listened to all the quos and
Yeah. Well, listen to Brian's readings because Daniel like does these weird screechy thing. It's like 2 minutes he gets into his thing and he's like flailing his arms and he's like doing these things and but that's what he does when he channels, right? So I can't listen to him. So I just like to have Brian read it for us. But
I hear
um Yeah, no, I'm all about that, and it's very cool that you guys are into it as well. What I love about you all is that your family dynamic is very close, very tight. I love seeing that. I love that you are father-son team and killing it out here. Um, how can people get a hold of you guys?
You can reach out to us on Instagram or Facebook, Justin Pickell, or what's yours?
John Pickell, Pickell, or John Pickell one. And what's crazy is even the pickle, it's spelled like this. The last name Pickell is also pronounced pickle by a lot of people. Um,
Wow,
yeah, the
that's
origin of it
it.
was actually pickle, which is Bickel.
Huh.
That's actually when American Germans were taking some heat. Basically, that's when it was switched over to Pickell or pickle. Pickle.
Pickle, pickle.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's all
Peter
good.
Piper
So,
picked a peck of them. Yeah, I bet you get that a lot too, huh?
say that again.
Peter Piper picked a peck of
Yeah,
pecker. Yeah, whatever.
Piper picked a pickle. No,
Yeah,
Peter
Never.
yeah.
Piper picked a pepper.
Well, guys, I appreciate you guys coming on. I'm looking forward to hugging your necks when we get to squat up next week. And
Here,
yeah, I just look forward to growing right alongside of you. Don't forget me for your funding needs. We can
100%.
help you out.
Look forward
And
Yeah.
to it.
yeah, no, I appreciate you guys on a Friday night
Yep.
coming on and being on the Woo Woo and Real Estate podcast. So that'll be all for tonight, guys. I appreciate anyone watching this later on. And we'll stay tuned for next week's